Hey up guys, welcome back to Piggy Pen's Tube. My name's Jo. If we're only just meeting for the first time, pleased to meet you. If you're a regular viewer, thank you very much. I've recently got to 1,000 subscribers overnight, the night before last, and it was just the best thing to wake up to. I'm absolutely delighted. Everybody has been so kind with the congratulations as well. I'm chuffed to bits. I've been making long form videos for about 6 weeks. I'm quite new to YouTube anyway, so I don't know what the standard is for your first few months making content. But for me, 1,000 subscribers, that's just beyond my wildest dreams. So thank you so much. I just wanted to start by saying that I appreciate every single one of you, especially those that like the videos, and because that really helps. I've learned that's apparently really good if you're hitting the like button. Actually, why don't we stop now? I'll give you 10 seconds of finger dancing. Do 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 while you go press that like button. Do 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 do. Right. Okay, back to what we're here for today, which is my October review, which includes a review of my big year-end goal. This is a massive personal goal for me. I want to talk about that and give you an update on how that's going. My plans for November are also included in this video. And also, we're going to finish off with what everybody's really here for, which is completed pages. So I hope you don't mind me doing it this way. I don't have sort of planned out ideas, but I've got so many things that I'm probably going to touch on in the month. There's going to be enough content there, so I hope you don't mind bunching what I think a lot of people do this in 3 videos maybe. But I'm just doing it in one end of month review before we go into the new month. It's a lovely way for me to put a full stop on October and kind of hit play on November. I do sit down and actually do review my month and see where I'm at and things I want to achieve in the following 4 weeks or so. That's what we're going to do today. You've joined me while I'm starting my first page for November, doing this as a buddy colour with my colouring friend Kath. Kath's colouring pages, and we're going to be posting this on Day of the Dead, which is tomorrow. So yeah, I've got some work to do. Don't you worry, Kath. By the time you wake up tomorrow, this will be in your inbox. I promise. When I do this, it's like in concrete, is that? If I make a promise to you, I won't let you down. Right, so let's crack on with the first part of this video, which is going to be my October review. So rather quickly, while conducting my October review, I realised this is not going to cut it anymore. It's been working fine, but I've got that much going on now. I just need a way of organising myself that's a little bit more efficient for me, because I'm used to spreadsheets and stuff. So out with the old and in with the new. So this is my spreadsheet that I've had to make. So this is going to replace my journal. The thing is, now I'm getting older and we all write less, don't we? I think it's wonderful, these people who keep proper journals, and the handwriting's gorgeous. I used to have nice handwriting. Now it feels like I'm learning to use my blooming pen fingers again. So I type quicker than I write as well. That's another thing. I've always typed quicker than I write as an adult. So we've got a few tabs here. It's pretty simple, really. I'll just show you how I'm organising myself. I've got a list of my books there. It just tells me what date I bought it. It's really loose. I've just put October, for example. I don't put the actual date. The book name, the illustrator, and how many pages coloured in it. So if we slide to the bottom, because obviously I want to focus on untouched books. You can see that Fairy Tales and Folklore and Fairy Tale Worlds by Maria Troller are the books I've coloured in most. I've got 4 pages in each of them. And then Magical Worlds by Joanna Basford, which I don't know. Clearly I do like a bit of Jo Bass, don't I? Because she's third on my list there. Anyway, I'll be brief. I might go into this in more detail. By the way, this isn't all snazzy. Like if I click something on one page, it's not going to add it up on another page. This is a very basic one. But if anybody wants a blank version of it, I'm happy to email it. Just email me at piggypensmail@gmail.com and I'll reply with a blank version of this if it helps you out. Then I've got a list of hashtags to note. Hashtags and themes. I've just listed down, so the year. So if there's any annual ones, I'll put them across here. And then if there's any for January, I'd put them in there and so on. So November, you can see I've noted general hashtags that I just want to keep in mind so that I can take part as and when I want to do that. So I've got all those Alice in Wonderland ones in there. Amanda Colours as Palette Challenge. Number 431 is the card this month for November, and so on. So I've got a hashtags tab. Then this is my big 2025 goal. So this is super important to me, and on a serious note, just for a minute, I've had a few people just remind me to, you know, keep things in perspective and make sure I don't burn myself out. So I kind of just want to reassure everybody that I'm really good with that. I've burnt myself out in the past with hobbies and with work, so I'm super aware, self-aware of how I'm feeling with things like that now. And you'll notice I always say on my videos that you won't find me doing memberships or Patreon or anything like that, because, and do you know why that is? There's nothing wrong with doing that, but for me, I don't want to commit to anything, and frankly, if I put it in plain speak, I don't want to owe anybody anything, because if I were to do memberships and you were paying to be a member of my channel, I'd offer you loads of awesome content, but then one week I might just think I'm knackered and I might bugger off for 4 weeks and not do any videos. I can't see that happening, but I want to know that I can do that if I want, you know? So I don't ever want a monetary reward or anything like that. Not because I'm a lunatic. Of course I want money in life, but not from my hobby. I don't need it from this hobby. So I want to keep my relationship with my channel and my relationship with you lot. I want it to be a friendship. So if I need a rest, I'm going to take a rest, and you guys, I know, will just understand. Definitely don't worry about me burning myself out. I was saying to somebody who, one of my colouring friends, Kathy, last night, that, and somebody else, I think I mentioned it to yesterday, who gave me the same advice. I was explaining to them that I'm only doing my content as a second to my colouring. So my colouring will always come first. My content will come second. And third used to be, talking about colouring in general, third would always be my scrolling and giving the support back and watching YouTube videos as well. That's coming third now. But it's also, I would say, if you're seeing that I'm commenting less on other people's content, I'm really trying. I watch loads YouTube all day, so that's still, but sometimes I'm just listening to it, so I might not always comment as much. And I make a point every night before I go to bed, I have a look through Instagram, and I, as I've always done, give loads of support back to people that I admire on Instagram. But that is the one thing that will lessen as I do more video editing, if that makes sense. So me doing videos, it's the editing that takes the time, and that's only at the moment replacing the time I'd have been scrolling through Instagram or Facebook or whatever. So far it's not impacting negatively on my colouring life at all, or on my normal life. It's only enhancing it. As long as that's what's happening, it's all good. Do you get me? So yeah, do not worry about me doing burnout. I know I can take a break when I want, and you guys, because you're lovely people, you'll be there when I come back. As it stands now, I don't need a break, I'm good. However, when I tell you about my blooming plans between now and end of year, you're going to think I've lost my mind. Don't think this is a negative for me. I'm excited about this challenge, and the challenge is really important to me. So we'll get on to that now. Let me just check you're not getting that. Yeah, brilliant. I just didn't want you to be getting the old ring light glare. Bought myself a ring light this week, 1,000 followers. I was like, get yourself a ring light. You know, I might progress to a microphone at 2,000. You never know. Right. So, Piggy Pen's goals for 2025. I love talking about myself in third person. So my goal is to have no untouched books in my collection. Once my goal is reached, any new books will be coloured in before storing on the shelf. You can stop laughing, I can hear you. It's not ridiculous. It is totally doable. So then I would be maintaining this goal. Now, I want to do this by the end of the year, by 31st of December. It's going to require some control over purchasing of new books. On the 1st of October, in my last monthly review, if you've watched it, you won't remember this, but I'll tell you. I had 43 books, 27 were untouched books, and I'd not made any plans to touch any of them at that time. I was just starting my goal. My plan on the 1st of October was to colour in 9 new books each of the 3 months until the new year. That would have given me my 27, and I thought, oh, and just to round it up to 12 a month, pick 3 that you want to do yourself. Pick 3 books that you've already coloured in, that aren't on your untouched books list. Enjoy yourself, Joe. That's what I thought. So that makes 12 pages a month until New Year, which is more than achievable for me. I know it is. However, October was a funny month. I had, at the start of the month, I had all those problems with my palpitations, and I was in and out of A&E, and when I were sat at my desk, the palpitations were scaring me a little bit, so I was going to lay down and stuff like that. So the first half of the month was a bit dead. Well, I did 11 pages altogether. I think 3 of them were in the first half of the month and 8 of them were in the last half of the month. So that tells you that I didn't really get going until mid-month in October. So I've only done 11 pages. I say only done 11 pages. If that's 11 awesome pages, that's, for me, perfectly fine. 11 pages is a good amount of really good quality pages. I don't think all mine were this month. There's some that I did quickly to make sure that I didn't let my buddies down. But like I say, I was starting on the back foot a little bit in October. Just super busy at the start, then I was ill. So it is what it is. I don't beat myself up about nothing. So it's all good. It's all good. However, that didn't help. I managed to get 9 of the untouched books, so that I kind of achieved that. But the problem is, as we move on to the state of affairs now on the 1st of November, which is today, Blossomia, new books. So I coloured 9 of my untouched books in October, but I bought 13. So, yeah, problematic. So this was a nice wake-up call for me. I just thought, you're sabotaging yourself, Joe. Absolutely ridiculous. Let me just make clear as well, I don't have an issue with people with loads of books. I love those channels. That's where I see all the books that I want to buy. So it's just not for me. I don't have the space. And when I look at my shelf and I see 50 books, I know that's 500 quid. And while it doesn't matter how much I spend on my hobby, like I mentioned before, my husband's just bought himself a £7,000 motorcycle. So that's, all hobbies are different. And it don't matter to me or my husband what I spend on my hobbies at all. But I don't want it to get out of hand. I think I want it something that I remain in control of. And that's a personal thing, isn't it, for all of us? You know, if you're in control and you're happy. I don't like the feeling of being taken over or overwhelmed by a feeling to buy. So I'm just super aware of myself at this age now. I know myself so well. I don't want it to get out of hand. So I'd like to keep my books under 100, certainly. But we'll see how we go, I'm not going to beat myself up about anything. But yeah, I did have a little chat with myself and I thought, that's daft. You did all that hard work through back end of October trying to sort your blooming colouring life out, you meet this goal that's dead important to you, and then you sabotage yourself buying 13 new books. So what I have to remember as well is that I am a new colourist, so I'm building my collection to match other people's collections, if you like. So I want enough books that I can buddy with people. That's what I'm here for, friendship as well. So I want to be able to buddy with people, which creates a new colouring friendship, and I love that. That's my favourite bit about colouring. So I'm not going to do that in November. I'm not saying I'm not buying any more books, but I'm talking it has to be only 1 or 2. Simple as that. So yeah, I bought 13 new books. So I've sabotaged my goal and now I've got a bigger job to do with only 2 months to do it in. So this is the situation. I've now got 56 books. 32 of them are untouched. I have got plans, however, to touch 17. So I've got plans with buddies. So yeah, November. I've already got 17 buddies and 13 are in untouched books, which is brilliant. If I add 3 untouched books to that, that's going to be 16 untouched books and 20 pages in total for November. So that's a big goal for me, because I'm not one of these people you're going to see. I don't do a lot of what's she called? She does them make cute stuff, 50 something miniatures and whatnot. They'd be ideal if I were into that as little palette cleansers. Maybe I'd mind, do more pages, but I'm just not bothered for them. 20 books is a lot for me, especially if they're going to be pencil heavy. But I'm not. All right, Rocket. But I'm not in work at the moment. I'm having some time off, so it should be more than achievable, I think. I'm thinking about pages that can sometimes take 2 or 3 days, but I'm going to aim for it. What's that saying they say? Aim for the moon. You might land somewhere near the stars. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to aim high and we'll see where I get. So 20 pages in November. So for December, I've got 9 buddies booked in and 4 of them are in untouched books. So I've worked out that I need to add 12 untouched books to December. And that's going to give me 16 untouched books, which is me 16 and 16 in November. That's me 32. And that'll give me 21 pages to do in December. So I've kind of tried to spread my goal out, spread the weight of the goal out over the next 2 months. So that is the plan. It's a lot of work for me if I want to do the standard of page that I want to do, because that's something I'm going to try and keep in mind is I don't want to be rushing pages. So I would rather fail my goal than just have, 3 good pages and 17 pages that I don't feel as proud about. So I've got to keep reminding myself of that. This is what challenges are. This is a true challenge for me. The reason it's so important to me is I do really want to, in the new year, freely buy books if I want to, knowing that they're getting used. So when a book comes in, gets delivered, I've got one coming today. When a book comes in, I want to put it to one side, finish the page that I'm working on, and then I want that to be the next page that I do, essentially. That's what I would love in an ideal world. Maybe like in my plans videos, I'll say, these are pages I fancy doing this month, guys. Does anybody fancy joining me? That really worked, actually. That when I did that flip through of those 2 Maria Troller books, I had some people wanting to buddy on the same page. So what I did is I asked everybody if they wanted to make a little group up. And I just made a chat on Instagram and changed the chat name to what the page was. So like Maria Troll Christmas tree page in Arstida. So we all knew what it is, amongst all those chats, which I bet everybody's got a full inbox like me. And we just, we've worked on a couple of pages in that way, and I've enjoyed like a little mini group on things, so I want to do more of that in future. Anyway, I'll get to buddies shortly. So I've just made a little note here in my noteworthy column. Luna, which is on my, I've ordered the Luna, the new book from Lydia Fenwick, isn't coming till late December, so I don't need to worry about that. That kind of ticks that off the list. Anything mermaidy, but particularly Magnificent Mermaids by Marjorie Sana, I'm not bothered about that. I'll leave that till May. So just a couple of things to keep in mind for myself there. Then I have my Piggy's October pages, and that is what I want to go through with you now. So I'll just show you how I'm organising myself. Is it a new book? Yes or no? The page of the book, the author. Is it relating to anybody or hashtag? Because that's what I was struggling to keep up with. People's Instagram handles or YouTube handles, if it were hashtag that I wanted to tag as part of, doing that page. So I've got a column for that. The supplies I've used, which I've never noted in my journal before, but I thought it'd be useful for these videos. If there's a deadline, the date I actually completed, and then I've just got a column at the end that tells me if I've posted it or I've completed it. So Oh, that's been posted, so I can change that now. Done. Where are we? And posted. And then I can change that to green, which is my happy colour. Fab. And I've got the same going for November. You see, I've got a lot of buddies in for November already. If you're buddying with me in November and December, I want to thank you loads. You are the reason that I will reach my goal if I do reach it. Believe me, because if I will never let anybody down. Do not worry. I won't make myself poorly rather than let you down. If there's a real issue, I will come to you and I'll talk to you. But in general, I won't be letting you down. Do you get what I mean? I'll be prioritising my buddies. So don't want you to think, oh, she's never going to get round to ours. Just watch and see. I am on fire. I'm on fire at the minute. That's November. And I've even got buddies in for December, as I mentioned. So yes, so that's the way I'm organising myself now. I'll pop that to one side. Plans for November next. All right, so a public service announcement from Editing Joe here. When I was recording this next segment of the video, I'd accidentally left the camera zoomed in. So this is the November plans part. You're going to be a little bit zoomed in, but let's look at it as you're just getting really good close-ups of what I'm talking about. I want you to stick with me though, because don't worry, for the completed pages, we're back to a normal full shot. Thank you. Up first is this. This is my first November page, ready on the board. So I'm doing this with Kath of Kath Colours Pages. This is a page I'm doing for the Day of the Dead, which is tomorrow, as I mentioned, and it is in Maria Troller's Arstida or Arstida. Do you know what? Maria Troller's Arstida, or Seasons, as it's translated to, I believe. Next page on the list is in Mythographic Romantasy by Veronika Kalinska, and this I'm doing with Jess at Colouring Bumblebee. So we picked this page together. I think she shortlisted, and then I told her which one I'd like to do out of her shortlist. I think she's looking forward to this page. She's really looking forward to this page, and I am, because I love mythographic stuff. I ain't got around to a lot of it, but yeah, I love them. This is my kind of illustration. That amount of line work and this style, you know, normal proportioned people, love it. Look at the wings on that. Great, looking forward to it, so I can't wait for that. Then we have Mythic World by Kirby Rosanis. You know, like all these books I'm doing in November, and I've got some Kirbys in. Yes, I have. When I say challenge, I mean challenge. Right, the page I'm doing in this one is with Amanda at ALLJ Art. Sorry, ALLJ Art. She's got some art background, I think, and I think she's YouTubed before, so she's got some mad skills. We have selected this page together, the Sphinx. So yeah, can't wait to get to that. Up next, A Million Baby Animals by Lulu Mayo, and I'm doing this with my friend Ivy, who is Ivy Pearl _ Clever Swirl, and she's on Instagram and YouTube, and we have chosen the Family of Deer page, and I will have to look back on our conversation because I can't remember which one it is. I kind of love that one, but I would, you know, what's not to love in that one as well. So yeah, I haven't done a Lulu Mayo. Have I ever done a Lulu Mayo? I did one when I first got my book, and I used alcohol marker. It were that period when I was cutting out my pages and sticking them in my little binder when I was doing Cute and Cozy. So I don't think I've touched a Lulu Mayo since then. So yes, I'm doing this with Ivy. Can't wait for that, Ivy. Then Alien Worlds, which is so outside my comfort zone, it's untrue. Look at that cover art. That is just beautiful. But you know, I heard about that group that's they give themselves names like the captains of a spaceship and stuff, and they're working their way through this book, and I just thought, I watched a few of the videos and I thought there must be some appeal to this. I need to get in on the action, and I saw it for £4 on Amazon. So, or was it somewhere else? I saw it for £4 anyway, so I thought, do you know what, I'll get it. That I don't mind if it sits empty for a while. But thankfully, Cheryl at Cheryl Marley, or I don't know whether you're a Cheryl or a Cheryl, but Cheryl Marley on Instagram is doing The Volcanic Beast with me. I've seen what she's done already with this spaceman, and it is just genius. So I can't wait to the start of December when we're going through his complete pages to show you that. It's going to be awesome. It's one of them where when you see somebody's had a really good idea, you're like, damn it, I wish I'd have had that idea. So well done, Cheryl. That's already looking awesome. So I'm looking forward to that. This is one of my favourite illustrators. So in Wald Natur? I think it means forest and nature. Rehan Udachi, or Raider Prince. And this is the page that I am doing with Dana. I hope it's Dana, D-A-N-A-H. Dana's Colouring Obsession on Instagram and YouTube. So we've chosen this Mushroom and Critters page. I can't wait to do a page in this book. I absolutely love Rehan's illustration style. Just brilliant. So this is another untouched book for me. All these books so far that I've gone through, apart from the Maria Troller Seasons book that I showed you at the start with the Day of the Dead, I've already touched a page in that because I did a trick or treat page. So that's the only one that's been touched in this little list of November pages. Then up next we have Serendipity. This is a new book to me. This came last week from RJ Hampson, and I am working on a page with Kate, whose Instagram is @coos_life in colour. And we're doing this page, Alice in Wonderland. I didn't think it were Alice themed at first, and then I saw this little drink me bottle. So how perfect's that? Kate picked this page. I said, just pick any you like. I love this book. And she picked this for us, and I'm right chuffed because she's already done it. Like, it's a November buddy. She's done it in October. Talk about putting pressure on, lass. Crikey. I'm only joking. I'm only joking. So this is called Just in Time for Tea, and it's an Alice page. So that's going to be brilliant for Jennifer at Tulgey Woods, and I think there's 3 other people hosting that #NovMad Tea Party 2025 in November. So I'm going to do that for that. Worlds of Wonder next. So this is a brand new book to me, and in this one I'm going to work with Leandra of Leanne3 Crafts on Instagram and YouTube. And I think she's Southern Hemisphere, so does this mean she's going into her summer? I'm sure she's in South Africa. Yeah, I feel like she is. So she picked this page, which right now for me is totally out of season. However, this is going to be a breath of fresh air for me amongst all the snowy pictures and wintry pictures and Christmassy pictures. And we're doing a lovely summery Volkswagen van that's a dessert and cocktail van by the looks of it. So I'm looking forward to that one, Leandre. Then up next, I am going to be working on a page with one of my colouring besties, Holly. Holly's just revamping her socials. I think she's now on YouTube properly as Holly Berry Colours, and on Instagram Holly Berry Colours. So check out both her channel and her Instagram. She's I love her work. She's fantastic. She's got a little bit of a freaky side, so she talked me into getting this book. She didn't have to force me, do you know what I mean? I just love shopping. But yeah, she talked me into getting this book. Not this one particular, but this is the one that I liked out of the ones that she suggested, and the one that I could get hold of quickly. Because I don't know about you, but when I'm shopping, if they tell me I've got to wait 3 weeks, I'm like, oh, do I still want it? So yeah, this one was available straight away and I fancied it. So Mythagoria Haunted Hearts. And we're doing this page, so she let me take a lead on picking some stuff out of this book, because I think she knew it was out of my comfort zone. So I picked this one, Skulls in this lovely thorny heart. This is going to be a fab book for Valentine's Day, you know, I think. Anti kind of pink and anti-normal Valentine stuff. So yeah, we're doing this one in November though with Holly Berry Colours. And also with Holly in November, this is a book I got the same time as the Mythagoria Haunted Hearts there. I'm working with Holly again, and we're doing this book, this page in Circle of Life by Melchat. And we've chosen together this windmill page, which I love. I love windmills. I think it might be a thing about Norfolk, because I love going to Norfolk and that's full of them. But yeah, windmills. It looks like quite a breezy day, quite autumnal. We've got some pumpkins. I'm excited for it. So yeah, thank you, Holly. She's really been fantastic at sort of saying, how's your list going? And I think she's trying to help me out. I hope I haven't put any pressure on her, but I really appreciate her. She's fantastic. Now, I only colour Christmas in December as a loose rule. So this must mean in November this isn't a too Christmassy page. So I believe I'm doing it with Kath, who I'm also doing the Day of the Dead page with. And Kath chose this, out of the ones that I shortlisted in my video, Kath chose this deer page. So I'm excited to work on that with her in November. That's going to be a lovely, beautiful sky, I think. And yeah, those deer are gorgeous. As deer illustrations go, aren't they cute? Super cute. So I'm doing this with Kath of Kath Colours Pages. Sorry, that was, I never said that that was All the Colours of Christmas. That translates to by Maria Troller. And then I've got a lot of time for this illustrator. I've just not got around to this book yet until now. So Oceans to Stars by Lydia Fenwick. And there's 3 sections in this book. I think you have like a water section, earth, and then stars. Yeah, ocean, earth in the middle, then the stars. And in the earth section, I put a shout out for a Sagittarian buddy to do, because it's my birthday in the latter half of November, and I asked for any Sagittarian buddies, and I think my lovely buddy Emma is actually a Scorpio, but she said she'd do it with me anyway, so I think it covers part of a, I think Sagittarius starts on like the 21st of November, and I think she's before that. So, but she's kindly offered to do this page with me, which is, in fact, I think she wants to save the Scorpio to do till she's really fancying it and got a right good idea for it, right, which I understand. So she was happy to do this with me. And I think she chose, I said I'd do any, obviously, and she chose this one in the earth section, which is a beautiful image. So yeah, thank you so much, Emma. This actually meant something to me. I wanted to be working on a Sagittarius page around my birthday, so you've made my buddying up dreams come true there. This is such a special book. This is probably one of my favourite books in my collection, and I saw it first on Annika's YouTube channel, Axic Fumbles. The pages she's done, wow, that woman is seriously talented. So I'm going to just do a job nowhere near as good as Annika in one of these pages. So I was delighted to find that somebody else had this book, and it was Marcy Miller in one of the groups that I'm in on Facebook, Chromatic Collective. So yeah, she's got this book as Marcy. So me and Marcy, I think I said I'd do any page, and Marcy chose this one. And then when I took a look at what she'd picked and I saw these leaves, I just thought, fantastic. English Springer Spaniel. It's great, this book, you know. It just tells you a little bit about every... There's loads of flip throughs if you want to check it out properly on YouTube. But yeah, it tells you a little bit about the breed. And the realistically illustrated, which I love. And I can't wait to get to Border Collie one for our Rocket. So yeah, but we're doing this English Springer Spaniel. Doing this leaf work is just going to be a joy. Can't wait. It's a stunning book, that, all about the dog, which was created to raise money, I think, for Battersea Dogs and Cats Home. And it's got illustrations. All the illustrations are by Martin Berry. And up next, my friend on Facebook, Helen, my colouring friend, she joined in with the colour along that we've just done, the Hannah Carlson one. And she said she'd be up for more, anything in future. So I said, we talked about it, and I told her about this whip I had that I'll never come. This is what I started when I was waiting in accident and emergency hospital, and it did its job. It kept me chilled out when I thought I was having an heart attack. Yeah, having an heart attack and still colouring in. No, but yeah, it kept me chilled. They're not great places to be, as I blooming hospital waiting rooms. So I took a few of my Faber-Castell my Faber-Castell Black edition, like 8 of them, and this little book, which were perfect for that, wasn't it? And I just got these done while I were waiting. But I know it's a book I won't, with everything I've got going on, this isn't classed as touched and for me until this page is done. So Helen's kindly offered to help me finish it off, so she's buddying up with me on this page. So yeah, that's in Small Victories by Jo Bass. Then we have Kingdom of Curious Creatures, which is a touch book. I've already worked in this, I believe. Have I? Yes, I have. Of course I have. I've just not long done it. So I did have a buddy for this page, Yaritza, but she didn't get around to completing the page, unfortunately. But she fancies this page for November. So yes, that's on my list now. It's a beautiful image. Some berries, a couple of little like wrens or robins. They're very cute. We've got what looks like marijuana leaves. You know, always a plus. I'm joking. And some foxes, I think they are. Beautiful. Oh, is that a badger? I wonder if it's a badger. That's lovely. So yeah, I'll give that a page a go. So one of my favourites now, Fairy Tales by Emily Lederhall Oberg, not to be confused with Fairy Tales and Folklore, of course. And in November, I'm doing this page with a group of people that I've been newly initiated into, and they've picked this page for November. I think they're colouring it bi-monthly, and I think it's Jess at Colouring Bumblebee that runs that little group. I love this, perfect for November. Leaf work again. And she's got a nice woolly jumper on. I'm thinking this is a nice hot cup of cocoa. She's reading a book. Perfect for this time of year. And Jess is a seasonal colourist, so it don't surprise me that this has been picked. So that's Fairy Tales, Emily Lederhall Oberg. Then another new untouched book, Blossomia or Blossomia. Annie Ray's art, another illustrator I think, is right up my street. You know, I just like Sierra Truong and like Raider Udachi, Raider Prince and whatnot. Like those illustrators, I wish we could see them on some good paper, picked up by a publisher. But anyway, this is a fantastic book. Blossomia. And I was flicking through. This is my choice. So these last 3 books that I'm going to talk about, this is the first one. These are the 3 that I've added to what I've already got in for November. And if you would like to buddy with me on this page, I would welcome it. I'm doing it anyway. But yeah, if you want to buddy up on this page in Blossomia, it's Alice, so we can do it for the November hashtag. Well, it's the rabbit. He's got a little, what's that watch called? A little pocket watch. We've got the playing cards. So I think this is Alice in Wonderland themed, isn't it? I would think so. I forget what the rabbit's called. There's a name for the rabbit. It was always late, isn't it? So I'm not a big Alice. I'm not big on Alice in Wonderland. I'll try and learn a bit more about it this month. But yes. So if you'd like to buddy with me on this page, just let me know. This is the one I'm doing in this book in November. So if that suits you, get in touch. Take a look at this horse here as well. I'm going to come back to him in a minute. Intriguing, eh? Up next, this is another one of my choices for this month. So I'm doing this page. I don't have a buddy to do it with. If you would like to buddy with me on it, please get in touch. This is Earth Song by Sierra Truong. I really appreciate this illustrator. Again, I just wish she were on better paper. So I'm going to do this page, this lovely girl riding this normal proportioned horse round a very steep cliffside path. I love it. Oh look, another horse. I wonder what that's about. I'll get to it in a minute. And finally, for November, final book in my November plans is Mythographic Mythical Beast. This is an untouched book to me, as was the last one, Veronica Kalinska. And I have decided to colour, oh look, 2 more horses. What's this all about? Well, this is the page I'm doing. I think it's fabulous. Going to do these waves are going to be brilliant, I think, to do. I love how Veronica, I'm sure it's Veronica how you say it, isn't it? But God, I love her horses' faces. And I love the big, thick, strong necks. Absolutely gorgeous. Seahorses, obviously. So, 2 more horses there, which brings me on to a little hashtag that I'm doing for myself. Join in if you want. Basically, if you're like me and you're a little bit, I'm not into Christmas until December. If you're that kind of person, this might be for you. Because we're saying nay, nay to Christmas in November. This is all in jest and a bit of fun. I hope you can tell that. So I'm doing these 3 pages. What have they got in common? Horses. So November for me is gonna be neighvember. Hashtag neighvember. Colour any horse you want in any book you want in November. Tag me. Let's jump on the No Christmas in November bandwagon. We're saying nay. And instead, we're going to colour horses in November. So they're the 3 I'm choosing for my own hashtag. Hashtag neighvember. That's Neigh Vember. Neighvember. And tag me, obviously, if you get involved and draw a horse in November. I'm doing it as a fun thing for myself. If nobody joins, then it's fine. It's fine, honestly, I won't be offended. But yeah, Neighvember. No Christmas for me in November, not yet. Only just got over Halloween. Right, so with the addition of these 3 books that I've added myself to my list for November, all untouched, that is my November pages complete. What I want to just touch on is my untouched books that I am looking for buddies in December. So just hopping back to my big goal for the year for a second. I'm just going to show you these very quickly. These are books that I'm adding to my list of pages to do in December. They're all untouched for me. So this is how I'm going to get them touched. I've picked pages because it's important to me, for my goal, that I've been quite mindful and thoughtful with what pages I've picked, because I have got a lot on, but I want to achieve my goal. So I've picked my pages and I'd like to invite you to buddy with me if you have any of these books. Some of them are quite obscure, so you may not, but if you want to buddy with me on the page that I'm already doing, get in touch and we can buddy up. So first up, Dream Cities, Colouring for Mindfulness by Rosie Goodwin and Alice Chadwick. And I saw this book and I just thought, that is unusual. I think I got this off Vinted, actually. I think it was £2 off Vinted, and it's in great condition. I'd like to do this Amsterdam page. Might do it. I haven't checked if there's any flip throughs of this. If there isn't, I might do one. But it's a great book, very unusual. This is how I remember Amsterdam when I went, so I'd love to do that book, that page, double page. You could commit just to doing one of them if you wanted, because that'll stand alone lovely, and that'll stand alone lovely. But I'm going to go for it. So that's in Dream Cities. This is what I'm doing in December as one of the pages that I'm choosing. And if you'd like to buddy with me, let me know. I've talked about this in a previous video, but yeah, Jo at Geordie Colours, the work she's doing in this book is epic, so it made me buy it. But then when I got it, I was like, this doesn't look like Geordie's, but that's because she's coloured pages in and that made it look awesome. I'm going to do this one in December, so if you fancy joining me on this lovely deer, what a lovely composition. Moonlight going on, Moonlight Deer. So if you fancy that, let me know. Moon Valley by Maria Troller. Then in Layla Dooley's Walk in the Woods, which my husband treated me to this month. I am going to keep it simple again, being sensible. I'm just going to do this fox picture, and what I'm going to use it for is I'm going to really practice doing some good fur. I'll probably use my polychromos and really practice getting some realistic, I don't mean hyper-realism. When I say realistic, I just mean, you know, fairly realistic looking fox fur. So yeah, keeping it, you know, simple for myself so I can achieve my goal. If you fancy joining me on this page in Walk in the Woods by Layla Dooley, let me know. This is one of my favourite books in my collection. I'm not drunk, it is only 11 o'clock in the morning. Creatures Great and Small, illustrated by Lucy Engelman. I've got a flip through on my page about this book. It is awesome, but it is untouched. So I have picked, look at me, look at me being more aware of hashtags after I failed to do any Space Timber pages. Year of the Snake, what better page? It's full of snakes. So I'm doing this one. If you have this book and you would like to team up for a bit of hashtag Year of the Snake action, let me know. I'm doing it anyway. Creatures Great and Small by Lucy Engelman. Mindful Moments. I recently featured a flip through on my channel of this because I believe she is a cracking illustrator. So I've picked a page for myself and I'm going to do... I'd do either of these. So if you want to join me, get in touch before December. And, you know, you can take your pick out of them too. But yeah, one of these two. Again, I'm trying to be sensible. It's not going to take too much work. It's seasonal, so plenty of mushrooms. Either of them. That's going to be December. Mystic Animals. How I've not touched this book yet, I don't know, because I blooming love it. Stratton Peterson. And I'm going to do The Sloth. I just fancied something, putting something in there that's not super Christmassy. By the way, don't think I'm against Christmas. I love Christmas, but I just like it in December. I think it might be because my birthday's in November, so, you know, being self-centered narcissist that I am, I want November to be all about me. We don't even do birthdays, me and my husband, you know. We don't exchange cards or gift each other, because anytime we want anything, we just help each other get it. So we don't do presents or Christmas, anything like that, gift giving wise. We just celebrate it with lots of delicious Christmas food and drink. So, and you know, I do like Santa Claus. He seems like a fun guy. So yeah, I'm not against Christmas at all. I just like to keep it to December. But yes, this will be, I've always wanted to do a sloth and I've not got round to it yet. So I thought, again, this is going to be, I can base in alcohol marker, if you don't mind sacrificing this page in this book. I'm going to base in alcohol marker, maybe, or I might use my Crayolas. Check out my Crayola video, that were a lot of fun. Yeah, so yeah, if you fancy joining me in Mystic Animals by Stratton Peterson, get in touch. Last up for December, I've got Pop Manga, Mermaids and Other Sea Creatures. This cover is probably the reason I bought this book, because again, it's not my usual taste. I love the illustrations, but I don't know whether I love them for colouring, but I'm going to find out, because I'm doing this page. I thought that's cute with these two puffer fish. I thought that would be a nice, maybe a watercolour page. I'm sure I've seen Jackie working books like this with watercolour. I might be wrong. Jackie of Spare Room Studio, that is. So yeah, I'm going to do some fun and quick with this. I think this is going to be, I might even chaos colour this, because I think chaos colouring, you know, it wasn't just, for me, it weren't just a trend that I wanted to do a video for. I actually believe in the concept of chaos colouring. If you're short of time or you just want some fun, chaos colouring, and give yourself a time limit like I did. Check out my video. Have you heard me? Check out my video on everything. But yeah, check out my video on chaos colouring. It was a good laugh. But that's how I might approach this one. If you want to buddy with me on that page, get in touch. And that is my plans for the rest of the year and my plans for November. Obviously, I haven't touched on my December things that I've already got planned in, because there'll be a different video at the end of November for that, won't there? So yeah, that's that for that segment of this October review. On now to what is happening for you guys in November. I haven't got any strict plans, as I said. I'm definitely doing a colour along. I want to do an RJ Hampson colour along, just a one-parter, because I've had some requests from people to do an RJ colour along. So, and I love RJ, and I've got a new RJ book, and he's bringing one out in November that I will be buying. So that'll definitely be happening, an RJ colour along one-parter in November. Probably based in alcohol markers and touched up with anything else I feel necessary. And then I also want to do at least a two-parter pencil heavy colour along. and I'm looking to you guys. So if you're watching this video now and you're a regular watcher in particular, maybe if you took part or listened through that 6-part Hannah Carlson colour along that I just did, what would you like to see me colouring? Please pop it in the comments and let me know. I will respond to you as always. I always do. What I'm looking for is something in a book that a lot of people will have, if that makes sense. So try and get your thinking cap on. It's all right saying that as well. So say Fairy Tales and Folklore, I think, is a book that everybody has. So that would be an obvious choice. But it also means that the page might already be coloured in by a lot of people. So yeah, I'd like some inspiration from you guys. What would you like to see me do a pencil colour along on over 2 parts? Just like the Hannah Carlson one, nice relaxed chat, some colouring, sharing what I'm using for my colouring, but we're not going to do the big in-depth, this is how I prepare, this is what I'm thinking about, sort of stuff. It's just going to be the colouring bits. All right, so that's coming up. And I've got a few ideas, a few things that I've made a note of as I've thought of them that I want to film for you guys. I'm also, take a look at this. You'll never believe it. You know that I have Polychromos as my oil-based pencil of choice. Just a reminder that I do know that all pencils have oil and wax in. So I've chosen Polychromos as my mainly oil-based pencil of choice. And then I had some Chroma Flows that were my original wax choice. And then I've got some Caran d'Ache Luminance now, which are superior in my opinion to the Chroma Flows, and I'm loving the Luminance at the moment. But I still can't shake this feeling that there's something special about the Prismacolors. The way the hardcore Prismacolor fans talk about Prismacolors, there must be something going on. So I've treated myself to a little tin. So we're definitely I've got some content coming up in November around Prismacolors. I'm going to try these out and compare them to my Chroma Flows and my Luminance, which are my other wax-based pencils. People love these. They absolutely love these. So I've got the full set in my Amazon basket, and I'll be getting those if I love them. I don't need them though, do I? If they offer a difference to me than the Chroma Flows or the Luminance, if they're different in some way and give me another element, then I will get the full set. So let's see what happens with that. So that's some content coming up around that. I've got some other fun ideas that I'm not going to tell you about, but there's plenty of content coming along. And in addition to that, I've got quite a few other things that I want to film for you in November. So I'm looking forward to every one of them as well. They're not, that's not piling on any pressure for me. For the last 3 weeks, I've done those 2 colour alongs each week, in addition to all my usual videos that I've uploaded, and it's been totally manageable. So yeah, as well as all this colouring I'm doing for myself, I've still got plans to do lots of stuff for you as well. So please do subscribe if you haven't already. Right, last thing now. Let me get my completed pages together for you. Do not go away. This is what we're here for, isn't it? All right, so here we go. I'm going to do my completed pages slightly differently, and this is something I'm going to maintain through future months as well. I'm going to count down from my through my pages to my favourite page. So these are in order of which ones I love most. So starting with the ones I love least. I don't hate anything. There's obviously some that I just love more than others, and this doesn't reflect on the buddy. If I worked with the buddy, this is purely about my personal performance, my personal colouring performance on that page. So in order, my 11 pages that I completed in October. So number 11, Fairy Tales and Folklore by Emily Lederhall Oberg, and I did this apple heart page is what I call it. I did this as a buddy with Adriana, my friend on Instagram, coloured by Adri. pop hers on screen, and you can see that we both went for different media. Adriana has done a wonderful job in pencil with hers. I love her flowers. So yes, check out her page on Instagram. My page now, if we take a little bit of a closer look, this is in position 11 for one reason and one reason only. I used the existing dried up watercolours that were in my palette, my watercolour palette, from an Eerie page that I did. So I used that dried up watercolour and I challenged myself. I just added water, I didn't add any more paint. That part of it was lovely, but I used acrylic ink for the outside, which was also fine. But then I decided to darken it. I felt there weren't enough contrast, or something didn't feel right. But for me, this area here just doesn't work as well as it could. It's a little too dark, or it's not dark enough. It's too close here. It's too close to the value of this colour. I don't know whether that makes any sense, but that's what bothers me about this page. I don't mind the background here, and I love the image. And like I say, it were dried up watercolour that I reactivated, gel pens and a little bit of coloured pencil, but only some quick coloured pencil colouring. I'll just bring it a little closer for you to see. I love the gel pen that I got. I don't know whether you can see it. Any shimmering. So I used some metallics and some gel pen on top of a bit of quickly shaded pencil and my watercolour. And that's in position 11. I love the central illustration. I'm just not quite keen on what I did with the background. Fairy Tales and Folklore by Emily Lederhall Oberg. Then it's in Seasons or Arstida by Maria Troller, and that's on my colouring board at the moment, so I'll just show you on screen. This was a trick or treat page in the new book that I did with three other wonderful ladies. Sarah of Sarah's _colouring, Laurie of Creative Joy US, and Lynn of Lynn's _colouring reflections, Lynn's colouring reflections, and I'll pop theirs on screen as well. And this was so much fun to do as a little foursome. And this happened, this is what I was talking about earlier, this happened quite naturally. I shouted out for a buddy and more than one person answered for that page. So I just checked with everybody, do you fancy if somebody else joins? And then we made this cool little chat group. And now we feel like we want to do it again, you know, so it's wonderful. New friends made there. I love all three of their illustrations. Mine was the last page I did in October, and if I'm honest, it's in position 10 because I did it quickly. This took me a couple of hours. I were all penciled out. I'd just done another page that I'll show you in a bit, and it was quite pencil heavy, and you know, the month was approaching. I don't like being late for anybody. So I used a pastel in the background for mine and Derwent Inktense for the characters. Some acrylic marker there for the tree. Very straightforward. I kind of tried, I said this to ladies at the time, I'm just going to colour it like you know, with fun. So I've coloured it pretty much like I would have done when I was a kid, I think. But I kind of love it, so it's weird. It's not my best work, but I'm right fond of it. It is what it is. Pastels, Derwent Inktense, no pencil shading at all whatsoever on this page, and a bit of white gel pen. There you go. And I love it. And there's a fantastic. I love in Sarah's that wind she's got blowing through the image. Absolutely beautiful. And I love the colour palette that Lynn chose. This very earthy palette that worked really well. And of course, last up we've got Laurie. And I don't know what she's used here, but it's really, really smooth. Gorgeous muted tone in the background there. Just a really, really pretty picture. Fantastic, ladies. Thanks. I would do anything again with you four. We just might have to wait till January, unless you want to pick one of the pages that I'm already doing. Right. In position 9 then. I just referred to this page, actually. This is a page that I did with Veronica Dunn. Veronica is at Veronica Dunn 66 on Instagram. And together we picked this page. Funnily enough, when Veronica came to the page, I don't think she felt very inspired by it, but somehow we made the joint decision to do this page, and I understood what she meant, because when I got to it, I weren't so sure either. And I'll show you Veronica's first. So there we go. So that's Veronica's lovely light pencil work. And although she said she didn't feel too inspired by it, I think she did a great job. And I love some of the colours that she brought in. She didn't choose obvious choices for colour, which I appreciate. And for mine, I knew I wanted to do watercolour, but it didn't really. I don't know whether I was just off my game a little bit that day, but it weren't really working for me. What I were doing, it weren't what I visualised. So I had to kind of adapt halfway through. I'm really pleased with this feather. I love the colours, but without this gold gel pen, which I'll show you. I wonder if we can get it to sparkle a little bit. Without that, I don't think it'd have worked, but with it, I do think it has worked. So I've used some Uniball Signo gold gel pen, my Schminky watercolours, and then here we have a little bit of that Guangna super markers, super golden markers, just those dots there. So yeah, in the end I love it. I do really like this page. It's not low down for any reason other than there's other pages I like more. With the addition of the gold pen, I like what it has now become. Without it, I wasn't so sure. So yeah, it just shows you have to adapt. There we go. So that's Romantic Country, the volume 1 by Eerie, my first ever Eerie page. Job done. And up next in position 8, we have Kingdom of Curious Creatures by Kanoko Agusa. And I did this page for Halloween. So this was actually a buddy colour, but my buddy didn't end up doing the page, unfortunately. So it's not a buddy colour, it's just the me colour, which is fine. And it's totally fine that my buddy didn't get around to it, because thinking that she were going to buddy with me is what got me to do this page. So now this book is touched instead of untouched. So thank you very much to that buddy. I have Don't All Scream in Horror. All you Kanoko Agusa fans, but look at this. I used alcohol markers. There's no way. I'm never going to complete a book unless I complete Soulmates. I don't think. And this page was a rabbit in a dress and a boy rabbit in some shorts playing musical instruments with an ornate border. I'd have just never picked it. I'd have never coloured it. It doesn't really do anything for me. But this page I loved. So yeah, I'm sorry guys, but I used alcohol marker in a Kanoko Agusa book. I love what I've done here with the lighting from these lamps. I've imagined that they are shining on the pumpkins in the actual illustration, although these lamps are on the border. And I've used a technique that I used to use in my cozy colouring. So I've selected different alcohol markers, and then there's pencil shading over it as well in areas where I felt it was necessary. And I've used different colours entirely in the lit area to the dark area. And I did that with both the pencils and the alcohol markers. It's Ohuhu Honolulu B that I have, and I use my Polychromos as the pencils. Lots of gold gel pen work. I didn't like the fussy ornate border. I'm not a fan of that with Kanoko's work. So I just chose to black it out with acrylic marker. And I don't know whether these stars will show up, but we'll give it a go. Yeah, some gold pen work. And I do love these little animals. They're so cute. And I love the colour palette I chose. I'm a fan of that. And again, this was my penultimate page of the month. So I did it quite quickly. This was the best part of an evening. There we go. Kingdom of Curious Creatures by Kanoko Igusa. Next we have Halloween by Hannah Carlson. And this was a page I did with Kath of Kath Colours Pages. And I'll pop hers on screen now. Kath, I saw Kath's before I started mine. And I absolutely loved it. I love this colour palette that she chose. Very non-traditional Halloween. And that's always an exciting thing for me when people do that. So I absolutely loved it. And I think when I saw Kath's, it made me really want to go in the opposite direction, because I looked at her page and I thought, well, I can't do that kind of thing as good as Kath, so I'm going to have to go in the opposite direction. And I did, and that's why I went for a bit of a darker scene. I've used Artex acrylic marker on the background. Derwent ink tents for a lot of these leaves. Derwent Chroma Flow for most of the pencil work. And I used Castle Arts Harmonious for one of the blue colours. Didn't really have the blue that I wanted in my other set, so I went and found the blue that I wanted in Castle Arts Harmonious range. This is my first time using stickles as well. Can I just show you? You get some bang for your buck with them, don't you? I love a bit of stickle action. I just want to use stickles on everything now. And what else did I use? A bit of gel pen. I'm delighted with it. Oh, and I got some glaze pens, thanks to Jess, sort of casually mentioning that she'd picked some up from, was it Hunky Dory? I jumped on and got myself some glaze pens. So there we go. Really love that page now. So you know that I'm going to love all pages from this point on. Halloween by Hannah Carlson. I love Hannah. Up next, another Hannah Carlson. In position 6, we have Merry Christmas, or God Jule, I think it's called properly, by Hannah Carlson. And this is my collaboration page for Jazzy Doodle Designs Hannah Carlson collaboration. So the deadline for this was the 2nd of November in the end, but she reached out to me, I think, on the 30th, because somebody dropped out, so I was lucky enough. I'd be emailed her earlier in the month and I said, if a space comes available, will you think of me? And she did, so I was delighted. So although I was really pushed at the end of October, I was so chuffed to be included in this collaboration, because I'm a huge Hannah Carlson fan. I would just chuffed to bits. So it was this Christmas tree page. Now, ordinarily, you know me, I bang on about the fact I love contrast. So when I look at it, particularly when it's photographed, it looks even paler. Can you see this? Can you see all the sparkly bits by any chance? So when it's photographed, it looks even kind of paler. I think I could have shaded a little bit deeper in the tree, but I kind of wanted it to look a bit lit from within. I used the candle technique that I first tried out in that Hannah Carlson colour along I did last month. And I'm so pleased with it. Again, I think it could have had a little bit more contrast, a little bit more depth of colour in the tree. However, it reminds me of one of the old-fashioned Christmas cards we all used to get before everything got right modern. And I actually love it. So that's in position 6 in my countdown to my favourite pages of October. Thank you so much, Jazzy. Wendy, sorry. Jazzy. Thank you so much. It was lovely having that little chat with you as well on email. I really appreciated it. So thanks very much for including me. I'm chuffed to bits, I am. Merry Christmas from Hannah Carlson. And in position 5, look at this. Would you imagine that I could have a favourite page in this tiny little, super thin, inexpensive little book? Well, there's no surprise that I could, because it's by Rehan Udachi, Raider Prince, who I absolutely love. And this is the Wish Catcher. I love this. I love every illustration in this book. They'll all get coloured at some point, I'm sure. But this page I did in alcohol marker basing, because you can do that, I think. Yep, based in alcohol marker. There's my little bleed sheet. As much of it as I could in alcohol marker, and then I used my Castle Arts Harmonious to shade, and I absolutely love the results of it. I'm not a big grayscale fan, but Raider, she adds a little bit of extra line work for us that's not dissimilar to grayscale. By the way, I'm not against viewing grayscale pages. They're just not for me. I think I'm a control freak, even though they've got all the shading in the right places. I don't know what it is. Maybe I'll give it a go. I've got Wildflower Folk and Wondrous Folk in my basket, in my Amazon basket, but I haven't hit the checkout button yet, so we'll see. Tell me how you feel about grayscale. Do you enjoy it? And I used a little bit of my glitter Langau glitter gel pens around the frame there. I'm sorry if you can hear Rocket a little bit in the background. He's just woken up and he's full of energy. Cuddle bunny. Cuddle bunny. Where were we? So yeah, Langau gel pens are what I used to frame it in that lovely minty green or aqua green, and some metallic, some sort of gel pen there as well. It'll have just been a Uniball Signo or one of my Langau's. Down here as well. I love her. The Witch Catcher. I love this book. Dreamscapes by Arada Prince. In a position for not very seasonal at all, or so it seems. I did in October this gorgeous page. Joseph Cattenbang is one of my favourites, even though I've not done many pages of his. In fact, I think this is the only one, but I love his illustrations. And I worked on this with CJ of CJ 1980 on Instagram. I think it's CJ 1980 on Instagram. And I call this the dog and windmill page. This didn't take long at all. This was an evening, late afternoon into evening, because again, based in alcohol markers, as I'll show you. There you go. Based in alcohol markers with some scruffy pencil shading over the top, so you don't always have to make everything a perfect blend. I certainly don't. If you look in areas of this chair, for example, scruffy shading, just going for an indication. In these dried grasses and corn here, scruffy shading, because I'm just putting down an impression of colour or value or darkness or lightness. And I used my Claro metallic pearl colours on the wings of these dragonflies and butterflies, which I absolutely love. And I love the colouring I did on the windmill, and that's why this page is so high up. I'm proud of this picture. I love it. Alcohol markers. The dog's hardly got any pencil work on him, so I base this on my Rocket. Pop him on screen now. And I'll also show you CJ's, of course. Let's take a look at hers. And her little pooch as well. So we both decided to base our dogs on our dogs. So yeah, how sweet. And I love what she did. Again, I saw her, she finished before me, so I saw her picture and I was a bit like, oh, that's a bit good. I love the colour choices as well. Colour choices are probably what I would have chosen. Something similar, but seeing her page helped actually, because it forced me to try and, you know, think up another palette. So there they are together. So there's our pages together. Loved buddying up with you, CJ. If you fancy it again in New Year, do let me know. Let's take one last look at those. The wings of those insects. I just love those Calero watercolour paints. Those wings of the insects. There we are. Derwent Chroma Flows with a pencil that I used for that shading over the top. That was in Mythographic Wild Summer by Joseph Kattenbang. In fourth position of my favourite pages of October, we have Fairy Tales by Emily Leaderhall Oberg. And this was a buddy with Shelley Weaver, who's on Facebook and Instagram as Weaver Shelley, at Weaver Shelley. And I just got my Caran d'Ache Luminance, which you may know if you've seen the previous video that I picked up for 150 quid on Facebook Marketplace. Brand new set, still in the cellophane. So the lady in the next village said she got a duplicate birthday gift, so that's why she was selling them. So yeah, Caran d'Ache Luminance is the pencil that I used, and of course I had to use my Caran d'Ache Neocolor 2s, and I went for this kind of mottled background. I think I used 3 or 4 different Neocolor 2s for that. There's a little video on my channel, kind of a sped up to music jobby of me doing that background. And I love my shading. I'm proud of my shading on this. I do enjoy colouring in Emily's books. Just find them, they're just the joy of doing pencil work in them. I just find really enjoyable. And I've used some Calero watercolour again, the end of my paintbrush for those shiny bits. I love the shading that I did on this. Have you ever seen, I'll tell you who I had in mind when I was doing that. Have you seen Nolly's World on Instagram? She's fantastic. So that little flower there is inspired by what I see her do. And I love my colour palette as well. We chose a colour palette. This was a palette challenge as well with Shelley. Here's her page. I love what she did with it. She really hit the palette, I think, a lot more on the nose than I did. Gorgeous page, Shelley. Thank you so much for buddying up with me in Fairy Tales by Emily Leaderhall Oberg. And then, how could this not be in my top 3? So, in second place is, of course, this page that I did together with quite a few of you, certainly over a dozen of you. I know were colouring along this actual page with me, and that has just made my absolute month. When I look back at how I got to this decision, I've got a record of that now, haven't I, to look back on. It's going to be a lovely thing for me to just to look back on in, I don't know, maybe years to come. But yeah, it was nice that I broke it down for myself, I think. I now understand how I get to the end result of a page. I'm super happy. The candle was an absolute nightmare. Let me just give you a close-up of that. It's a nightmare to start with. I used Posca pen on it because I had loads of distress inks, which is this bit here, distress ink over it. So I had to use something opaque. So I tried Posca pen and it were a nightmare. But then, once I shaded, I really love that candle now. A little bit of gel pen on the top edge. And I love this shine. This is done with my electric, you know, my little Derwent electric eraser. So I just shaded and then pulled that across. And I like how, this is my favourite bit, I'm super chuffed with this, how the ray hits the hair. And I've just highlighted that as well. I love that. I'm proud of that. Proud of myself. It's collage in the background with the distress inks. And then I've used Polychromos as my pencil of choice, and only a tiny bit of white gel pen work at the end there. I'm super happy, but I'm even prouder of the community around this little 6-part series I did. So chuffed to bits. That page is also in seasons as well, should you ever fancy it, because, you know, colour alongs, they stay on my channel forever, so if you want to colour along to that page, the content's there for you. And in first place, my favourite page of October is, shockingly for me, in Kanoko Igusa's Symphony of Cute Animals, and it's my first ever Kanoko Igusa page. And I buddied up with the lovely Autumn of My Artful Life on YouTube. And this is the page. I'll show you Autumn's straight out the gate. Let's get hers on screen. Look at that. Autumn is a freelance illustrator. I think she's illustrated children's books and things like that, and she's also an art teacher, so she knows her stuff, as you can see. So her palette's quite cool, and the shading is obviously stellar. If you can't find her under My Art for Life on YouTube, she is at Autumn Fesperman Illustration on YouTube, and she's autumn.illustrator on Instagram. But I find the videos really helpful and useful, so I would definitely recommend that channel if you enjoy learning little tips and tricks. Autumn's is a great channel for that. So yeah, I loved buddying with her. I can't wait to buddy again autumn, maybe in New Year. Or if you fancy any of those books that I've got, that I'm, any of those pages that I'm doing, I'd love to buddy up with you again. I'm a huge fan, so thank you so much for saying yes when I asked you. This is my favourite page of the month. Let me just try and bend it back a little bit so we can... It does annoy me when publishers, I don't know if it's the artist or publisher's decision, they put two key faces in that crease there, and I think that's a bit daft, as we would say in Yorkshire. So yes, the Halloween party scene from Symphony is my favourite page of the month. What I did was, I based it all in watercolour, and it looked pretty good just based in watercolour. I were kind of already pretty happy with it, and I were almost thinking of just leaving it. To get this shimmer in the night sky outside, I added some of these colours to my Schminky watercolours, and that gives the paint a little shimmer. There's a few dabs of stickles on there, but I think you can see the difference between the stickles and the shimmer outside that window. Hope that shows up, but I love it. I'm so proud of this page, and I think it's one of them that on a photograph it doesn't look as good as it looks in real life, I don't think. So I'm so happy. Then, sorry, I'm getting such a narcissist. I'm falling in love with my own picture. Let me just bring up what I used. So Schminky Horror Dam watercolours is how I based the whole thing, but I actually did a lot of detail with the watercolour. So this in the kind of like plaster wall, the detail in the plaster wall there. All that is done with my watercolour. Shading on the pillars is primarily watercolour. So I got as much detail in it as I could just with watercolour, and then that just left me to do some shading where I felt it were necessary over the top, and for that I used my Faber-Castell Polychromos. Got some whatchamacallits. Sorry if you can hear Rocket. So yeah, we've got some stickles around the candles, and I love the characters. I do understand the appeal of Kanoko Igusa's illustrations now. I love this guy. He looked really shy and timid before I coloured him in, and then I think I've done something with his eyes and he's ended up looking a bit sinister. And my friend Holly, she thought that was an axe in his hand, but it's a little mask. It's a little Halloween bat mask. The scene, I feel like this is a central character. There's something going on with him. These two are a couple of mischievous twins, I feel. My window cleaner's just turned up. It's going to clean window that's right to this side of me. See what I'm doing. Oh well. So yeah, I feel like these two are two mischievous twins, a brother and a sister. These have turned up almost wearing the same outfit. I feel like they've got something going on, or they're related in some way. He's a cute character. That knocking you can hear is my window cleaner. He's a really cute character, and I love how I shaded the collar on his, hope you can see that, on his little coat, the purple and the blue. I love that. I feel like I've turned up and he don't want me there. He's like, not the most welcoming. And she was clearly in charge of the Halloween decks, because she's a very girly girl, and the food. So I love this page. I'm so proud of it. I wish I had have done a tiled floor like autumn though. How awesome was that tiled floor? Such a clever way of approaching the floor to make it more interesting. It looks great for that, does autumn's. But I'm super proud of this page, and I can't thank Autumn enough for letting me buddy up with her. I think working with somebody who you look up to, even though you're not like working on it together physically, just to be sort of on a project with them, it brings you on, it encourages you, doesn't it? Super proud. So that is my favourite page of October. Guys, thank you so much for joining me. I hope this video hasn't been too long. Like I say, I've got loads more content that I'm going to share with you in November. I didn't feel like I wanted to... Oh, scared me then. I didn't feel... That window cleaner. I didn't feel like I wanted to break it all down into like 3 separate videos or whatever. So I hope that's okay with you. And I wish you the best November colouring wise that you could wish for. I hope you get loads of pages done. I hope that you please yourself with them. I hope you do a lot of things for yourself this month. And I hope when you see your end results, you can see what's really good about your colouring. Because I can. I've always said this to you when I see your pages. I can see what's great about your colouring, and I hope you can see it yourself. Have some confidence. Let's attack November with gusto. We're nearly at Christmas, and it's all going to be about Christmas. So, yeah, enjoy November for what it is. So just to wrap up, please remember, if you want to buddy up with me on any of those 3 pages that I showed for November, that I'm definitely doing anyway. If you want to join me, let me know. And those December pages in my Untouched Books list, if you're interested in buddying up with me on those pages, those are the pages I'm doing. Just get in touch. I'd love to have you along for those rides. And also remember the horsey hashtag neighvember, Neigh Vember. Colour a horse in November. Put the hashtag alongside it when you post it. Tag me so I can enjoy it as well. And say nay to Christmas until December. Have a lovely month, guys. Happy colouring, and ta-da for now.